That was Elazar Kraus. Up next is going to be our second featured reader from across the pond. Alice Riddell is originally from the UK and is currently living in New York, having completed a master's at NYU's Experimental Humanities program, where she was editor-in-chief of a journal called The Caustic Frolic. Her work has appeared or is forthcoming in Breadcrumbs magazine, Flapper House, and Anthropolitan. She has read her work as part of the Dead Rabbits reading series and regularly performs at Apartment Party, a monthly salon series in Brooklyn. She's an avid table tennis player and eater of cheese. Alice Riddell, everybody.
Thanks for having me, Alex. So yeah, I thought I'd also try and go along with the spooky theme of October and Halloween. So this first one is called The Masks We Wear. We dress up to undo some parts of ourselves, to unravel, curl up, like ribbons of DNA ripped from cells and thrown down the stairs, to shatter like shells underfoot. There, someone shouts from somewhere, "See, that's you down there." You look to see, but there is only fabric and dye, downtrodden and torn, thread forgotten by some future self, step by step unfurled. Could that be me, you ask? Do you recognize yourself frowning and fragmented? Is that a 16th of a splintered smile? Am I piles of pieces? A twisted hand, velvet from lack of circulation, waves back up. There I am. It's funny how identity cascades as costumes parade someone else entirely. Feather and frill to flaunt a shrinking violet, toy swords to shriek off shrieking violence. We justify. It's the eve of All Hallows, so don your paint and smile in this time of historical distortion and cultural offense. I wonder, do they even realize that they're the ones who create nightmares? But we can play the game nice, ghosts and ghouls, specters of every spectrum. Sexy mouse sniffs out a rat in a dog collar. Father, or is it daddy, hallowed be thy name. The bride screams knots into cobwebs meant for flies as she's crushed by some drunk corpse pissing into a bloodbath. His cape cloaks cowardice up like courage, while her Venetian mask masks a Venetian hymn, sung to confuse me, confound me. Neither of us are here anymore. It's nearly November, frightful that. So best put on your beard and wig as leaves crisp under the weight of cuffing season's couple cuddles, and watch me disappear into elastic and plastic frozen behind my ear. You know, I can actually see better with an eye patch. It's nearly November, so go on then, theme me up, throw me out there, my face is on, I am ready now. The problem is, reality's the scary one. Let's come as ourselves next time. It's nearly November. I step outside into the frost. My face feels cold without my mask. This was actually published last Halloween, so I thought it would be nice to reread it now. It's called Knives, Nails, and Keratin. After one too many, she rips the nails from their beds like children on Christmas morning, eager to open a fantasy of something else. But there is only coal and air exposed on rawness. Having 11 stitches sewn into her chin felt like a bow tied by her mother, smart for church, all dressed up in that robe where blood ran down between her breasts. Kitchen knife, 2Ks, the silence of the last haunts her. Its noiselessness cuts flesh and screams. She digs, with small white keratin, not the ripped ones, some are saved for this very occasion. They mark, like crescent moons on a powder dusk sky, the shoulder and neck canyon, the valley of palms and wrists reflected back. Pinches, like ants, like too tight denim, like winter winds, like plucking eyebrows, like her sister. Her mother made her wear mittens to school because she nipped other kids. Nip sounds better than pinch. Pinch is only one letter away from punch. She painted the most beautiful blues. Lapis lazuli slaps, violent violets, sucker for shallow skulls. She watched the glow of the cigarette lighter, its receptacle invitation. its perfect finger-shaped hole, to burn off those remaining, licked by invisible flames, sucked out of soreness, by saliva, by means of salvation. Fingertips of flame are like burning bridges. They frizzle and melt into themselves, only to regrow again more painfully. So as with most writers, I am fascinated by words, and especially new words. So this next poem is about the distance and difference between hearing a word for the first time and then discovering what its actual meaning is, whatever actually means, if you know what I mean. This is called New Words Remade. He taught me a new word, petrichor. It sounded prehistoric, petrified into a time before comets and cataclysms. I felt it offer an ancient splinter to fracture time, scratched, splitting the surface, fossilized in layers of soil and skin. I was wrong. Petrichor, the smell of rain on dry earth. This makes me heady with knowledge of that scent. It hangs in the air, weighty, its dampened density perfumed by dank freshness, metallic to taste, the earthy minerals soaked to musk and texture nostrils. What becomes of dust after rain? Mud, soil sodden by Nirvana's tears, cracks, fissures mended, one murky substance of rebirth, a liminal sludge sticky and messy, of budding, of primordial callings. Can you smell these things? Can you taste them? I learnt a new word by another criticizing its use, crepuscular. The word disgusts me when left without meaning. I think of ooze, the expelling body, carbuncles, heady, yellow and purple. A thin music sheet ruined by bad writing, too loud in all the wrong places, a bellow or a yelp. Rather, crepuscular, relating to twilight, the threshold time of mediation, of magnetic reluctance, of a bewitched explosion. Is this good magic? Or rather, darkness soup like creams and swells slurped into silence, spurts and stings into tear shapes on spilled chins. The life-giver retreats. She bows behind the topographical marks, hiding her face in boulder bosoms of clay. She hemorrhages, leeches leak an iridescent incandescence of mercury molten, to burn skins and horizons, to cast shadows of possibilities. I learnt a new word from somewhere quite unmemorable, lackadaisical. I'm too lazy to withhold definition when wanting wanes and complacent contemplation replaces. Although there is specificity in mind of long-lost relations, missing marigolds, indigos indifferent to definite description. Deprivation of flora and fauna, the desolate garden whose gate hinges and shrieks from ruling weeds strangled. No one comes to tend, broken green fingers uncaring, apathetic to a war of agapanthian attrition. Sun-blanched shrubs remain, starved and stark and silenced. Meadows shrug, side sways to a despondent breeze. She doesn't pull up her socks in ambivalence to ticks. Limes lost lust, sicknesses insignificance. Those tiny flowers, daisies, dandelions and buttercups, do they know their names? Is it even theirs if we gave it to them? Words too germinate, disseminate, dissolve into semantic stew, stringy, desperate for straining. We should catch letters with a silver spoon and grasp the privilege to rewrite the dictionary. Besides, without definition, words are strongest in their infinite possibility. Who creates meaning anyhow? Can I, by desiring bottomless emptiness, full to the brim with suggestion, by favoring onomatopic dominance or at least relevance? Why can't words mean what they sound? Letters ablaze, dance, atop band-booked bonfires. Definitions dissolve by fiery tempers and temperatures. As lexical flames lick and kick up dust, we should catch and take what we want from that which smolders and sounds most sweet. I don't want to smell wet earth at twilight. I don't want to be lazy or disagreeable. I want to watch fossilized mud ooze and bubble and burst. I want to go to war with the daisies. I wanted to end here with tiny sparring flowers, but one last word lingered. Phonesthetics, the beauty associated with the sounds of words. Isn't it beautiful that the word phonesthetic is phonesthetic? This last one is about a tryst with a tutor in Venice. Kind of Call Me By Your Name meets drunken pseudo-philosophical cult was the vibe, so I kind of thought I had to write on it. This is called The End of Days. She said it felt like the end of days. She spoke this with her tongue. Venetian swells had made us dazed. I feel like a debauched prince, she said, with syphilis and no self-control. I wondered which of us would go blind first. I was marked red and blue from summer's heat, bruises from hard grips and harder surfaces, fingerprints to remind me of stings that scratched, bites given and received, sisters and skeetos to quench first until tiny blood burst between my roof and tip. The sticky taste of June she gave. We met in another world, flying salmons from Scotland to recreate Patagonia, salty hugs and pink bellies, meat hung over pineapples and fire pits, pomme de la terre dug out of ashen heart consumed between squats and spits. As the conversation swam downstream into the pools between my ears, the flies swarmed. Peaches and pears and cream bled and curdled with their words. Islands floating in sad little puddles on the plate. No one ate that fruit, overripe in the white liquid. She ran me barefoot into the forest, gravel nicked between my toes as my nostrils filled with pine. Delirium is delicious when served at dusk and spat out into the dark as laughter that echoed off low-hanging branches, which made no contact but winded me all the same. We rolled down banks and into ditches, mud under toenails and grass stains on shins. Stomachs shone against stars that had already died. We closed our eyes. In the morning, I watched as she ate yogurt from a fork. Thin filmed wateriness escaped the pallid cream clods. Pronged partitions swirled the separations. She curled and slipped through my fingers. Stainless steel rattled on silver. She told me to imagine that I was Greek, live and cultured. My tongue coaxed in cowlicks to lap the byproduct until the tub was empty. And we seeped and we sank. These were the end of days. As I picked twigs from my hair on the plane home, I wondered would I become a character in one of her plays, like she is here dancing words upon my page. I should like a dramatic death, I thought. Drown me in a chipped bathtub. Poison me with foraged berries. This is how women die. Or perhaps I was scribbled out, or worse, unconsidered, never even alive to begin with. These are the end of days. Thanks.